Alright. Welcome to Middleboro in Review. Today is March 16th, 2025. March 16th, 2025, Middleboro in Review. Getting underway in just a second.
The views of WDDF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests. Hey, Joey, what's happening? I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for the Middleboro Week in Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro News, here on AM 1530 WBBF. Hey, Joey, what's happening?
And good morning and welcome to Middleboro in Review. I am Joey Driscoll, and it is the 16th of March, 2025, and we are ready to go for another edition of Middleboro in Review. Open phone lines today, 508-822-1106, 508-822-1106 is the number to call. And we're just going to get right underway here by talking about our Today in Histories. We're going to switch it up a little bit today and talk about our Today in Histories first. We usually try to do our weather first, but let's switch it up today and talk about the Today in Histories first. We've got quite a few today, so let's just do that right now. 1621 on this day, March 16th, 1621. Samoset, a Abenaki, visits the settlers of Plymouth Colony, there we go, and greets them, "Welcome, Englishmen. My name is Samoset." 1802, the Army Corps of Engineers is established and found to operate the United States Military Academy at West Point. 1926, during the history of rockets, Robert Goddard launches the first liquid-fueled rocket in Auburn, Massachusetts. 1966, the launch of Gemini 8 with astronauts Neil Armstrong and David Scott. It would perform its first docking of 2 spacecraft in orbit. Neil Armstrong would go on to be one of the astronauts who landed on the moon just a couple of years after this one, after Gemini 8. 1985, Associated Press newsman Terry Anderson is taken hostage until in Beirut and is not released until December of 1991. 1988, during the Iran-Contra affair, Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North and Vice Admiral John Poindexter are indicted on charges of conspiracy to defraud the United States. 1995, Let me start over with that one. 1995, Mississippi formally ratifies the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, becoming the last state to approve the abolition of slavery. The 13th Amendment was officially ratified in 1865. In 2020, March 16th, 2020, the Dow Jones Industrial Average falls by 2,997 points, the single largest drop in history, and the second largest percent drop ever at 12.93%, an even greater crash than what happened on Black Monday, 1929. This follows the U.S. Federal Reserve announcing that it will cut its target interest rate from 0 to 0.25. Birthdays on this day: 1751. James Madison, American academic and politician, who's the 4th President of the United States of America. 1912. Pat Nixon, American teacher and also First Lady of the United States of America. 1926. Charles Goodell, American lawyer and politician, and Jerry Lewis, American actor and comedian, both born on this day in 1926. 1927. This is a big one for Don as he, walks into the studio here. 1927, Don. Daniel Patrick Moynihan. You know Moynihan Train Hall?
Yes.
That is named after him.
New York Senator, right?
Yes, that is named after him. I'm going to put up the yellow mic here for Don. So yeah, born on this day in 1927. He would be 98 today if he was still alive. American sociologist and politician, and also he was the 12th United States ambassador to the United Nations. Daniel Patrick Moynihan was.
Yeah.
1948, Michael Owen Bruce, American singer, songwriter, and guitarist for the band Alice Cooper. He was with the original Alice Cooper band, and I believe he did something with him recently, a couple of years ago as well. But he was with the original Alice Cooper band before they broke up after... it wasn't after $1 Billion Babies, but I believe it was the album after that, Don.
You're the Alice Cooper.
I know. I can look at Alice Cooper's...
Scholar of the family.
I could look at Alice Cooper's discography, but I believe it was the album after $1 Billion Babies when they broke up after that. Muscle of Love, yeah, there we go. After Muscle of Love, that band disintegrated. And the Alice Cooper went off and did his own thing. The rest of the band, they formed a band called $1 Billion Babies.
Well, it's funny because the band was called Alice Cooper, and everyone thought, the singer was his real name.
Mm-hmm.
What's his real name?
It's his real name. Well,
No,
it's his
that's
real
not-
name now.
No,
I mean,
what's his? He has a real name.
yeah, he has got his real name. Something Fernier.
Okay.
Something Fernier.
I figured you know his name.
Fernier.
You're such
Last
an
name
Alice
is
Cooper.
Fernier. I don't know his first.
You're such an Alice Cooper freak that I figured you know his name.
No one calls him that anymore. So everyone's
Oh,
calling
the
him
name
Alice
of the
Cooper.
band. No, the name of the band was Alice Cooper.
Yes.
It didn't specify on the lead singer. It was just the name of it. Like Alice in Chains. Who do you think of with Alice in Chains? Nobody. The whole band, right?
Whole band.
Right.
Exactly.
Who's Alice? Right.
Yes.
But Alice Cooper, and then everyone thought Alice Cooper. That's his name, the lead singer.
Yeah.
And then the band left, and he just took the name.
All right.
So technically, it's a band name. It's not a person, but everyone identified Alice Cooper as a person, as
Yeah.
Alice. You know what? Alice was born on my birthday, February 4th.
All right. Yeah.
I saw something on. I saw something that was pretty cool. It was like a Brady Bunch thing, but
Yes.
they have a square, and it had Alice Cooper in the middle. So Alice, it's so funny.
Born on this day in 1949, Eric Estrada, American actor and police officer. He is well known for co-starring in the lead role as California Highway Patrol Officer Francis Poncherello in the police drama Chips.
It's a fun show. I used to watch it when I was a kid. I liked it. I still watch it when I see it. Fun.
Anyone who might be listening who's a little bit younger.
It has a cheesy theme at the beginning with the cheesy keyboards.
Yes. Anyone who might be listening who is younger, there was a film that came out based on basically it basically is based on this called Chips, and that came out in 2017, and that had Dax Shepard and Michael Pena in it.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah,
It's
well,
pretty funny.
you know-
It's not an amazing movie, but it's
see, I'm not a big fan of rehash reboots because I think it's taken all the original characteristics out of people trying to find new ways and new theories and new everything as far as new ideas.
Yeah.
As far as movies and stuff.
And then they did something with the Chips IP in the '90s as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I you know what? The only reboot I really liked, there's a few movies that I liked, was the Battlestar Galactica reboot with James Olmos and Katie Seagal and I think it was Katie Seagal.
Yeah.
But the character development was awesome in that, and I had a friend of mine who just discovered it like 2 weeks ago and he fell in love with it. And there was some movies like The Death Wish with Bruce Willis. That was a good one.
Yeah.
There's been some good reboots, but
has.
most of them I don't like.
Exactly.
I don't like.
Exactly. I wouldn't. I would consider.
I'm just a fan of original ideas. New, think of something. We've done that.
Yeah.
We've done it twice, 3 times already.
I
Trying
would
to think of something
consider.
new.
I would consider Rocky Balboa a reboot because the first 5 movies, that was the original
I
run
don't
of that.
consider that a reboot. I just consider that.
Well, it was 20 years after the 5th one.
Yeah, it's a continuation. It's a saga. It's a continuation. I don't mind those because it's the same story.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to talk about this, the same story over,
Yeah.
It's-
No, exactly.
No. You start
Halloween
scratching
kind.
it.
Halloween kind of did that, but they did that. They did that well. They did that very, very well.
I don't know. I
With Rob Zombie.
That's funny. I saw Halloween at a camp. I was with my father at a place called Ponce Vago, and I didn't know what they were. They had a movie night, and so I walked to the movie night, and I don't know, they were 13 years old, 12 or 13, and it was like a quarter-mile walk in the woods. So I walked to the tent, watched it. It was Halloween.
Yes.
It was Halloween.
Yeah.
There was about maybe 40 people in the tent, and I had to walk back to the camp by myself.
There was.
That was the most terrifying
Those
thing I ever
first
did in
couple Halloween movies were
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, the first two.
And then they
Yeah, then they
messed it all up.
Well, Halloween
The
3.
third one.
Halloween 3 wasn't even Michael Myers. It was 3 short stories.
They messed it up.
And then 4 went back to the Michael Myers saga. So
Yeah, with 3, if they never put out 3 like they did,
right.
I think the series would be much better.
Well, Donald
It
Pleasance,
is
I
good.
think, was in the first 2,
Donald Pleasance was in the first 2, yes,
Yeah.
and Donald Pleasance was in Columbo as well.
and he was in Escape from New York. He was the president.
Yeah, so Donald Pleasance,
You're
what a
the
great.
two. You're the two. You ever see Escape from New York, Joey?
I've seen clips of it.
No, you need to sit down and watch the whole
Yeah.
thing. Escape from LA was all right. I watched it because I was such a Escape from New York fan, and I love Snake Plissken. Snake Plissken, P. Right? I always see it was a B. It's Plissken, P.
Yeah.
Snake Plissken. And Lee Van Cleef was in the first one,
Yeah.
and he was always in these cowboy movies, and he was the coolest of the cool.
Yeah, Lee Van Cleef used to be in a lot of the spaghetti westerns.
Oh, he was unbelievable. He was Hulk. He was the police commissioner in New York.
Mm.
And he was such a tough guy, And Escape from L.A., Stacy Keach was in it, and Peter Fonda was in that movie too. But I think the CGI kind of ruined it.
And I think there were small amounts of rumors last year that they were going to do another movie, but
What for
for the Escape series. But I didn't hear about that.
Well, I don't. You know what? 1997. It was 1981. Okay, it was John Carpenter too, who
Yes.
did Escape. Same one director who did Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he said that theme, that eerie theme at the beginning of Escape from New York. He said he was playing with his little Casio keyboard at home, and he came up with that, and they just went with it.
Nice. All right. We have Nancy Wilson, born on this day in 1954, of the band Heart.
Yeah, great player.
Barracuda.
Great.
That's my favorite song.
Ann and Nancy talk about two sisters that are talented to the roof.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
And we have a former Celtic. His birthday is today. He just retired as well. Born on this day, 1989. Blake Griffin, former Celtic, was with us the year before the title reign, I think.
Did we see him when we went to the Celtics a few years back?
No, he was not with us.
I think Paul Pierce was running the show then, right? Because we had some pretty good seats, and they were playing Milwaukee. They were playing Milwaukee.
I think it might have been Paul Pierce. It might have been before he got traded.
No, it was Paul Pierce. I remember.
It was? Okay, so this was probably just before he got traded.
Yeah.
Because I think he got traded to the Brooklyn Nets, if I'm not mistaken.
That's when all the insurance companies were giving free tickets out to the companies.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We got a Red Sox VIP booth with other people, and we got almost front row seats. It was nice when, but he doesn't get them anymore. They don't. These insurance companies that I know, he used to get tickets all the time. I asked him, I said, "Any more tickets there?" And he's like, "No, they don't give them out anymore." So I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Well, they did it, but I guess it's too expensive for even for insurance companies to buy to give to their customers. So that was nice.
So, we have our deaths here, but we're going to take our first commercial break right now because we're getting close to that time. So we'll do that right now.
Today in history is taking a whole half
I
hour.
know.
I love it.
Good, well, we get a lot.
We are gonna do the Children's Hospital thing later, right?
Oh, yeah, we're going to do that as soon as we get back from our news break.
We got a lot of insight on that place.
Yeah,
'cause we've been
and then there's a little bit of scam awareness I want to do too. Scam awareness.
Have you got scammed lately?
No, but there's a new thing out there that I want to make people aware of.
All right.
I just saw an article this morning. I want to make people aware of it. So we're going to do that as well towards the end of the program too. And our weather. We're going to do the weather at last today. We're switching it up a little bit. Doing today in history first. Weather will be last. So stay tuned. We're going to do the weather. I won't forget about it. But it'll be last on our
And I think
docket.
it's 8 days. Countdown for South Coast Rail. Week from tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about FRA approval, but I'm assuming they probably already gave it to them, and they just nothing's been going on in the press.
Well, I think we still got that March 24th opening date, which is a Monday, right?
I think it's still going to open next Monday. Yeah, I think it's still going to open next Monday.
We give them the right day. It's the 24th, right?
Yeah, I think it's still going to open when it's supposed to open, and I think it's already been given FRA approval. There's no articles about it. So, oh well, whatever. All right, let's take our commercial break, and we'll be right back.
We get to ride for free. So when we go, we can ride for free from Middleboro all line. That's good. I got a nice, delicious coffee there for you, Joseph.
Coffee. Thank you.
Spark Street Auto Body, located at 48 in Boston, Massachusetts, offers the highest quality collision repair and complete auto service for your car.
That's good that CVS is open in Plymouth. I didn't think I had it ready for me in 10 minutes.
Good morning, Scott.
Hey,
Yeah,
Scott.
Battlestar Galactica reboot, one of the greatest television series ever made.
What, the subtitle one?
Which one?
Subtitle one, Scott? Oh no! You said Battlestar Galactica, right?
Yeah,
Oh, it's
BS.
unbelievable.
Well, he said BSG, which I'm
Yeah.
assuming is Battlestar Galactica. Yeah.
Kevin Wynn just discovered it 2 weeks ago, Scott. He fell in love with it. He said the fourth season was a little slow, though. He said he was at the edge of the seat the first 3 seasons. He said the fourth one good, but not as good as the first 3.
Yeah, and then there's television series that were downgraded, from what they were originally. Like in my childhood, Teen Titans actually was something that was like really good, and now they're not. It was really kind of ruined by Cartoon Network. It's kind of a kid show. It's a little kid show now. It used to be pretty out there and edgy.
Oh yeah.
It's not anymore. No, they totally dumbed it down, and they totally ruined it. It's like for little kids now. It's unfortunate because it used to be really, really good. It's the same actors too doing the kid-friendly version of it too, which oh boy, it doesn't feel right.
Some people say the Three Stooges are violent, but it's all slapstick comedy.
No way.
But that's what
No,
I'm saying.
not compared to what we have today.
Yeah.
Here we go. And we're back. And me and Don were talking about television series that were downgraded from the original. And I brought up an example that the younger audience will know, and that's Teen Titans. That was absolutely downgraded from what it was on Cartoon Network back in the early 2000s to mid 2000s. It was a pretty dark program at times. It wasn't really over the top dark, but because it was Cartoon Network, but it was still, there was some dark elements to that series, and that series ended. That original series ended, and they brought Teen Titans back, and it is now for little kids basically. And I just don't care for it.
Maybe that was their audience too. Sometimes it's a business model.
Potentially, potentially.
Sometimes it's a business model, and they're like, well, the kids. First of all, the kids who started watching that program are grown up, probably not watching anymore. They work. You're talking what, 8, 9, 10 years later.
Exactly.
They're not at home. They're working or doing their thing, or they're hanging out with their girlfriend or cruising around in the car,
Exactly.
working, whatever.
And there's a totally different audience now than there was in the 2000s. I mean, you had some really good shows on Cartoon Network in the early 2000s, the mid 2000s. Adventure Time was another big one as well.
The Batman comic books, my friend used to collect them, and he was collecting them when the Batman movies were coming out with Michael Keaton, coming out with Jack Nicholson. They were dark. They were a little dark, but they weren't. They were kind of almost slapstick in a way. You know what I mean?
Things didn't get dark for Batman until the Batman Begins series.
Right, and that was Arcadian Asylum.
Yeah, and then
buddy
the
had
video
that.
games too.
My friend had all those magazines, all those comic books in 89, 90 when that movie came out.
Yeah.
And that was the darker part of Batman. Big time.
And things got dark for the video games with the Arkham Asylum stuff.
Right.
With Kevin Conroy and things like that.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. He passed away.
But as far as the Michael Keaton Batman, to me, it's my favorite because I always look at Batman almost, even though it was violent a little bit, but
it's unique. It's Tim Burton. It's unique.
Yeah,
I never got into it either.
I've never been a big Tim Burton guy. You know what I mean?
All right, 7:31 a.m. Let's take our news break, and we'll be right back here in just a few minutes.
Secretary of State Rubio is defending President Trump's tariff policies. White House correspondent Greg Cluxton reports.
After attending a meeting of G7 allies that was overshadowed by tariffs and other Donald Trump trade policies, Rubio insisted that tariffs are not a hostile move against American allies. He said they're about making trade fair. The Secretary of State met with his G7 counterparts in Canada, a country that has been targeted by the president. The allies used their meeting to voice disapproval of the escalating trade war. Ray Clugston, Washington.
Tornadoes and high winds have decimated homes, wiped out schools, and toppled so many tractor trailers as a monster storm that killed more than 30 people ripped its way through the central and southern U.S.
I think William Shatner's birthday.
Storm deaths reported Friday.
Yesterday.
really?
Missouri.
Yes.
I don't know. I saw something on Facebook.
It's not today, because I would have caught it.
No.
A SpaceX capsule is docked at the International
Hey Siri,
Space
how old's William Shatner?
Replacements for NASA's two stuck astronauts.
93.
The new crew pulled up Sunday, just 29 hours after blasting off. The four newcomers will spend the next 3 days.
20 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have caught that.
Yeah. When's the 22nd?
22nd is Saturday.
Saturday?
Their 9-month stage.
March, right? 22nd
Yeah,
March?
it's gonna be
Yeah,
94.
it's a
Yeah.
Saturday.
Still looks good. I saw him on Bill Maher about a year ago. He still looks good.
Yeah, because he's staying active. He's got all sorts of things going on, I think. I'm wondering, I wonder if he's still doing it. I don't think he's not doing the Travelocity commercial anymore. It's somebody else. He used to do the Travelocity commercials. And then they got rid of him,
Oh, the travel, yeah.
which was lame. I don't know why they got rid of him. It's lame.
Yeah, it was cool. They were all right. He was a good spokesman for
He
them.
was good. He was good. He was a good spokesman for
I just wish they did something with him, you know, from 94 on as Captain Kirk. Me and Scott were talking about that for years. I mean, 10 years after that.
They should have used him
Me
for
and
the.
Scott were
They
talking
should
about that. I
have
was
used
like,
him for the.
where's Captain? I mean, the guy's doing freaking commercials.
I feel like they should have used him for the new movies, but they didn't, and that sucks.
Yeah, but I think the movies fizzle out, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, the movies definitely fizzled out. What's Chris Pine doing now? Garfield. Those Star Trek movies, they quickly.
You know what? The last movie I saw with my father was Star Trek in Darkness. The last, was there 3 of them?
Yeah, but it's not completely their fault why it fizzled out. To Anton Yelchin died. He was in those series. He was in those movies.
With Chekhov?
I believe so.
Yeah.
He died.
Yeah.
So it's not 100%, all on the movie studios. But I mean, still, how that fizzled out, I have no clue. I have no clue. No, but I mean, they just ran into some unfortunate circumstances with a couple of, with Anton dying.
Yeah, but it was the money, so it was all right.
And yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. They ran into that too. And then they ran into the pandemic.
You know who Chris Pine is? Chris Pine is the son of Robert Pine. Robert Pine played the sergeant in Chips.
Yeah. And now his son's playing a cartoon cat.
I like the last movie. I think they did 3 movies.
Chris Pine and Chris Evans in this.
They did 3 movies, and I really liked the last one. My father liked it, but he couldn't get to the whole film.
You know what? No, you know what? I think that might be another Chris that does Garfield. I think I'm getting my Chris's mixed up. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I'm getting my Chris's mixed up. That's not. I think that's Chris Evans that does that. Hold on. Let me look at Chris Evans. Oh, you know what? It might be Chris Pratt. There's like 7 million Chris's in Hollywood. Hold on.
Alex Ovechkin scored his 887th career goal Saturday night to move in 7 times.
No, it's not Chris Pine. Disregard what I said about Chris Pine and Garfield.
Okay,
Is it Chris Evans? Who the hell plays? Chris Pratt. Pratt's playing all the cartoon character people. He played Mario too for some reason. I don't know.
Uh,
No, but Chris Pine, I don't know what he's doing. Obviously, in my imagination, he's playing Garfield, apparently. Alright, anyway. Moving on. That's how much I follow Hollywood. I don't follow it at all.
yeah.
I don't know who plays in what, because I just don't follow Hollywood today. Alright, anyway. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. There. Alright, we're back here on Hometown Talk. Not Hometown Talk. Middleboro in review, people.
Okay, let's recap. There's Middleboro review on Sunday. Alright, he does Middleboro Matters on Monday, does Hometown Talk on Wednesday, and Hometown Talk on Friday.
So this is what happens when you get distracted talking about cartoon cats on commercial break.
Oh, yeah, right.
Garfield.
Like you're supposed to get distracted talking about cartoon cats, right?
Exactly, Garfield. Alright,
Hey,
anyway.
what's the feedback there, mister?
Come
on.
turn that down.
Dial that knob down.
Alright, anyway, our passings today, and 40 minutes into the program.
Yeah, we gonna talk Children's
We're
Hospital.
going to, as soon as we're done with this.
And you got a scam report too.
And
Right?
we got a scam report at the end of the show. And our weather at the end of the show, too.
And you better get busy, mister.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
Alright, our deaths for today. 1185, King Baldwin IV of Jerusalem. Now, King Baldwin IV of Jerusalem was a very interesting figure. He had leprosy. And he also participated in a lot of battles in the Middle East alongside Saladin. And those battles were very, very historic. There was a movie that came out in 2005 called Kingdom of Heaven, where one of the characters in there was King Baldwin, and King Baldwin in the movie is played by Edward Norton. I've seen some clips of the movie. It's
Edward Norton's
really good.
Edward Norton's good, in my opinion.
Edward Norton is really good, and Edward Norton plays King Baldwin very well. Again, I think King Baldwin would be a very interesting character to play in a movie, and Edward Norton did a very good job in that. King Baldwin IV of Jerusalem, very interesting figure in history, and his passing was today on 1185. March 16th, 1185. 1679, John Leverett, English general and politician. He was the 19th governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. Not Massachusetts, the Massachusetts Bay Colony. 1971, Thomas E. Dewey, American lawyer and politician, 47th governor of New York. 1985, Eddie Shore, Canadian-American ice hockey player. He played for the Bruins, I believe, as well. 2016, Frank Sinatra Jr. Frank Sinatra Jr. was amazing with his music as well. Sounded a lot like his father, almost exactly like his father. Actually, Frank Sinatra Jr., some of his TV roles, he was in Family Guy quite a lot, and that was always pretty interesting to watch. Those Family Guy episodes with him in it, it was always pretty interesting to watch. 2018, Louise Slaughter, member of the U.S. House of Representatives from New York, born in 1929. I remember her from the Waco hearings. She was a part of that. She was on that committee at that time. I've been watching the Waco hearings recently, and she's a part of that. So, anyway, that is our birthdays, passings, today in history's 40 minutes into the program. Anyway, now we have a scam report. We're going to do that now because we're going to finish the show with our Children's Hospital thing because we got quite a couple things to talk about with that. So our scam awareness report is this. FBI has issued warnings to all Gmail, Outlook, and email users. The FBI and the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, they're urging users of popular email services like Gmail and Outlook to be on the lookout for a dangerous and potentially costly ransomware scheme. A bulletin released this week detailed a warning for the Medusa ransomware gang. That is a group that has been active since 2021. As of February 2025, the group has impacted more than 300 victims in the medical, education, legal, insurance, technology, and manufacturing fields. The group uses phishing campaigns like bogus emails that tempt users to click links and provide personal information. It's always important to, if you get an email, to not click any links in the email unless it comes from a reputable source. I mean, that's very, very, very important. There's a lot of scammers out there that that send emails pretending to be companies and say send out links like a sign-in to like a sign-in page, and if you sign in, that's how they can take all of your information. They can do that very, very easily. As well as exploitation of unpatched software vulnerabilities. It then takes the computer hostage until a ransom is paid. So ransomware is a very scary thing. Again, it does. If you fall victim to it, it does take your computer hostage, basically. Locks your computer, and you can't get it back until, of course, a ransom is paid. The FBI and CISA recommend all accounts use long, unique passwords. People should also use multi-factor authentication for webmail. I use it. I use it for Facebook. I use it for all sorts of different things. Two-factor authentication is a very, very good way to keep your accounts safe. Also, VPNs and accounts that access critical systems. It's also recommended that all operating systems, software, and firmware stay up to date. So there you go. There's a little bit of a scam awareness segment there. Wanted to talk about that. That's pretty important. So Don,
Yes.
very quick thoughts on that before we move on.
Beware, Will Robinson, beware. That's all I have to say about that. Just beware.
Exactly. Very, very important stuff.
Danger, Will Robinson. That's what. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Don't open those scams.
Very, very important stuff. All right, 7:45 a.m. Let's get this one last thing out of the way so we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, we're gonna have no time for Children's Hospital.
We will.
Thank you.
We will. No, we will. We got plenty of time. And that's the weather. Driscoll, North Dakota, 15 degrees, high of 45 today. No rain in the forecast, just cloudy skies. Driscoll, Texas, 55 degrees, high of 82, low of 54, and clear skies today. Cloudy here in Taunton and here and also in Middleboro as well. 50 degrees in Middleboro, cloudy, 64 today with a low of 44, and again Taunton, 51 degrees, cloudy, a little bit windy as well, high of 64 and a low of 44. So there you go. There. All right, Don, we're ready
Okay.
to talk about Seacrest Studios in Boston. So let's do that right now. All right, so a couple of weeks ago, I sent out an email to Seacrest Studios in Boston, asking them a couple of questions.
Children's Hospital.
Children's Hospital, yeah.
It's,
Children's Hospital.
no, explain what's.
So Seacrest Studios is in Children's Hospital. It's like it's a studio. It's like a radio studio, like us, but different. a little bit different. It just broadcasts to the hospital for the patients who are in the hospital.
Well, in the hospital grounds.
Or on the hospital grounds.
Hospital.
exactly.
So there's like 6 buildings, 7 buildings, and I think it's piped into
All of it.
All of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what Seacrest Studios is. It's owned, obviously, the name, it's owned by Ryan Seacrest.
Well, it's donated.
Or donated, at least, by Ryan Seacrest. I don't know if it's owned by him.
No, it's donated. It's all
Donated?
donations. Yeah.
I'll donate.
Did they tell you that?
I apologize.
You know
I
that.
don't know. It must have.
All right.
It must have been here. I apologize.
Yeah, yeah.
In partnership with the Ryan Seacrest Foundation, it says here.
Okay. Whatever that means.
So we probably donated, yeah. But it is partnered.
It's probably a grant.
It's partnered with Ryan Seacrest Foundation, which
Yeah.
is obviously owned by Ryan Seacrest. So here you go. Ryan Seacrest is a big part of all of this.
And-
There's not just the Boston Children's Hospital.
No, it's other.
There's other ones as well, but I think Atlanta's one of them.
Yeah.
There's several.
Yeah.
There's several out there.
And we've had the privilege of going on the air and being interviewed several times with over the years.
A couple times,
Yeah, and then we've had her name was Nicole. She called in about a year ago.
I think it was 2 years ago now, almost.
On
It'll be 2 years in May.
on the Middleboro
Yeah.
Matters show that Joey had, and they talked about it. But this is more of a Q&A questions now.
Yeah, I'll give you that question. So number one,
No,
how did the Seacrest Studios get started?
this is you asking them.
Yeah, so what they told me was Seacrest Studios at Children's Hospital in Boston was opened in 2014, again in partnership with the Ryan Seacrest Foundation. Ryan Seacrest and his family were inspired to open TV and radio stations in pediatric hospitals across the country, based on an experience he had in his career. Prior to the start of the Ryan Seacrest Foundation, Ryan would broadcast his radio show on 102.7 KSFM from the lobby of CHOC Children's in Orange County, which is in California, I believe. I don't think that's in Orange County, Florida. I think it's California. I apologize for that.
No, move on.
Trying to figure out what the
Well,
heck that is.
you can move on, right?
Yeah, he received positive feedback from many families, expressing that they wished he could do his show from hospitals all the time. The impact on patients was palpable. Some kids who had not gotten out of their beds in months would travel down to the lobby to see guests he brought in. Ryan sat his family down at the dinner table to discuss how they could use this idea to make a bigger impact. And the Ryan Seacrest Foundation was born. And they launched the first studio in their hometown of Atlanta. And from there, other ones opened up as well. 2, how did you get started? And this was a person who responded to this email. Her name, if I can get it up. Say it in the email? Oh, yes, it does. Okay, it says in the second question. I apologize. Let's do that. Second question, how did you get your start at Boston Children's Hospital's Seacrest Studios? So Jamie, who responded to this email.
Actually, Jamie is one of the people we met a few years ago.
Yes.
Okay, Nicole and Jamie. I remember
Yeah.
Jamie. I remember that name.
All right, so Jamie, who is a studio child life specialist, she previously worked as a child life specialist in the medical intensive care unit at BCH for 12 years. And she spent a lot of time one-on-one supporting patients through procedures and families through difficult experiences. At some point, she decided that it was important to expand her skills to set up a group programming and was attracted to the positive energy that came from the studio. It was quite the learning curve, as most of the studio team had degrees in film or production. A lot of them, I believe, come from Emerson.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, a lot of people we dealt with. I think it was exclusively Emerson.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yes. and therefore were comfortable and well versed in technological practices. She had to learn a lot in order to run the equipment. The equipment is very,
You ran it.
very interesting.
Yeah, you ran it.
Absolutely.
They let you run it. That was cool that they let you run it.
There's a lot that goes into that.
And you were being interviewed, and you were interviewing them on there, and that's just was so nice.
Yes, and doing all of that while also supporting patients on the air. It was and continues to be a fun challenge. In many ways, it was similar to the problem solving that was required in the ICU in modifying activities to meet the needs of patients who had mobility restrictions. So that's a good answer there for that question. Number 3, what is a few of your favorite things about working at Sequest Studios? And the response was the transformation in confidence that happens for patients within one program. A patient can enter the studio very hesitant to participate and may end up singing full songs on the mic, not wanting to leave. Patients inspire patients. The socialization, teamwork, and friendships that form between patients, siblings, and who participate in the programs. A lot of patients have said that they didn't realize there were other patients in the hospital like them until they came to the studio or interacted with others during the programs. This is one of the biggest benefits of the broadcast nature of our programs, the visual of other kids. How the space allows for individuals to express themselves in all different ways, both familiar talents and the opportunity to explore new ones. The fourth question was what are some of the programs that Sequest Studio Station does during the week and weekend? Sequest Studios, they have about 15 hours of live programming a week, Monday through Friday. And their shows consist of game shows like bingo, trivia, or copycat versions of real TV game shows like Family Feud or Wheel of Fortune. They also have song request hours. They have a great list of songs that they do.
Remember playing songs?
I do.
And when we were there, we got some requests.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, they had a wide variety of songs, and I think to do that job, I mean, I'm not sure if I could do it because I'm stuck in the 70s.
Yeah. They also have a lot of special guests that come in and celebrities guests, which we'll get to in a later question here. Number 5, how do patients at Children's Hospital get involved in the programs that the station does? Patients who are hospitalized or in an inpatient unit, or patients visiting the hospital for an outpatient appointment, can participate in programming in person. They can visit the Sequest Studios or virtually by watching Channel 19, which that is only available, I believe, in the hospital. Channel 19. Not sure if you can access that outside the hospital.
No, I don't know, but I think everything's internal.
Exactly, I think everything's internal.
I mean, if I was to guess.
The hub on the hospital TV, those watching our channel from the hospital rooms, waiting rooms, or treatment areas can call, text, email, or join online to participate in the show. We pride ourselves on having activities that are equally fun, regardless of if you're in person or virtual. And their programs are always interactive as well. And then she gave some information as well for patients and family members of a patient as well. All right. Which celebrities or sports figures have come into Sequest Studios? Now, this was a very interesting question for me to ask, and got a pretty interesting response. They have had Rob Gronkowski, Ed Sheeran, Yo-Yo Ma, other WWE wrestlers as well, and Boston Pops, and many more. So,
you know who else they had?
Who?
Joey Driscoll. From WBBF.
I don't consider myself a national celebrity,
I do. But you were really good. We had a lot of fun.
And then finally, what else should the listeners know about Sequest Studios? They said they are broadcasted on closed-circuit television. in order to respect the privacy of our patients and families. Closed circuit television means you're not going to be able to find it outside of the hospital. I think that's basically.
It's probably a privacy thing.
It's a privacy thing.
HIPAA thing, privacy.
But you're basically not going to be able to find it anywhere else other than if you go to the hospital itself.
Unless you're in the hospital.
Exactly. So, anyone outside of the hospital can't, watch. So, I mean, that's obvious. A patient privacy is very important.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Keep it in the confines of the walls of
That's
the
an
hospital.
obvious thing. Yeah.
Which is a big footprint. It's huge.
Yeah.
Anyone who walks through Children's Hospital,
Yeah.
there's like 5 or 6 or 7 buildings that are all connected from 1899 to 1930 to 1967 to 1971 to 2013. It's just a hodgepodge of buildings just meshed together.
Yeah. So again, their channel can only be viewed at the hospital. Their programs are also only going to be available for inpatient people at Boston Children's Hospital and those who have an outpatient appointment as well. Same day as the program. Therefore, there is an exciting event. Only those that are there that day are eligible to attend. So,
Yeah.
there you go. All right. Well, that's the questions there. I want to thank Sequest Studios for giving me the questions.
Jamie. And I remember Jamie. Jamie was there. When we went, was it 2 or 3 years ago? We were wearing masks, so I think it was 22.
It was 22.
So, yeah, they were great. Nicole and Jamie. No,
It might have been December 22.
Yeah. So.
1 minute here.
But thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Jamie, and hopefully we'll get a telephone interview. But I guess they were busy to.
Yeah, maybe this fall.
Yeah, maybe we'll pay them a visit sometime and take a ride.
All right.
Visit.
1 minute left here on the show. I want to quickly give a quick preview of what's coming up this week. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. Tomorrow will be Middleboro Matters, and tomorrow we will have Jim Larkin joining us via the phone lines, talking about all things St. Patrick's Day. So that's coming up tomorrow.
And who's Jim Larkin?
Jim Larkin is the former host of Sounds of the Emerald Isle right here on WVBF.
Which he about 45 years, 44 years.
Yeah.
That's funny. I remember listening to Jim Larkin when I was with my Uncle Jimmy, helping him all around the house, and he used to always play that. And so, it's funny, and he knew my family really well, my aunts and uncles, and he's part of my family.
And on Wednesday, no guests yet. I'm trying to look for one.
Gotta find a guest.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for one.
Get a guest, Joey. Get a guest.
If not, we'll have open phone lines, and whatever, we'll go from there. On Friday, we do have a guest, and that guest is going to be Linda Perlman of the South Station Tours.
I took a tour.
And that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, the tours are every Saturday at South Station. There's a sign over near the information desk where the transit police sit.
Mm-hmm.
And you meet there at 1 o'clock, and it's like an hour tour, and they show you the tour. And I guess they take you parts like maybe you haven't been to before, but I didn't get the whole tour. I'm going to try to go back. But it's pretty interesting to tour. But I mean, there was a few people there. I mean, we had like 25 people. You meet at the sign at 1 o'clock in South Station.
And my first hometown talk of the month of April is April the 2nd. Due to a scheduling conflict, Eric Dunn cannot join me on the first Middleboro Matters of the month of April, but he will be joining me on the first hometown talk that I host of the month of April, which would be April the 2nd. He'll be joining me in the second hour, 10 o'clock a.m., in the second hour for our usual sports talk at that time.
And for April for Middleboro in review, we've had Dr. Ed on, and he says he'd love to come in, so he's great. He's a Brockton doctor, Brockton area doctor. He's my doctor. He's been on it all.
And we'll have other guests as well.
Yeah,
All right, we gotta.
Questions, so everything's good.
We gotta go.
Gotta go.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Daddy's gotta go.
Have a great rest of your. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and have a great rest of your weekend and a great St. Patrick's Day as well. Stay safe.
Yes,
and,
stay safe.
St. Patrick's Day. And bye-bye, everybody.
Broadcasting live from the Taunton Federal Credit Union Studios at 14 Church Green, we are AM 1530, WBBF, Middleboro, Taunton, and W259DD, Middleboro Center, 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
Ah, come on. That is so annoying. Ain't that like... It just logs me out of the news thing. Anyway,
Secretary of State Rubio is defending President Trump's
I think I heard that as well, that there was some talk about that, Scott. Yeah, I thought I saw that somewhere.
Rubio insisted that tariffs are not a hostile move against American allies. He said
That would be pretty cool. Because he did come back for a movie. I think it was during the Generations era, and he had a role in that, a big, pretty significant role. It was a small but pretty significant role in the ending of one of the movies. So I think having him in Star Trek again, that would be pretty good. You know, like a smaller role maybe. But I think that would be pretty cool if that is actually going to happen. If that talk is real and that's going to happen, because that's pretty cool. And that would be pretty cool to see him on television again, or either if it's television or on the big screen with another Star Trek thing. Because there is a lot of Star Trek related stuff going on right now. Different series, things. Not sure about movies, but I'm sure we're not done with Star Trek movies either. So again, that would be pretty cool to have William Shatner come back, even if it's again for a small role. All right. I'll be sipping my coffee before I end the show today. That's good coffee. Alright, I want to thank everyone for watching the show today on Facebook or listening to the show on the radio. I think pretty soon I'm going to be announcing that I think I still will be doing Facebook Lives on here, but not as much. I might be moving to YouTube, because I already have a Middleboro Review YouTube page, and I'm able to live stream on YouTube with no restrictions or anything like that. So it just seems like Facebook is adding more and more restrictions as the week goes by with live streaming, and that kind of sucks. And yeah. Anyway, maybe I'll continue to live stream on Facebook, but I also will probably be giving YouTube more of a try as well going forward. Maybe between the two, maybe doing live streams between the two. Maybe one week do YouTube, see how that works out. Another week do Facebook, see how that works out. Maybe Facebook decides to change their tune on the live streaming thing. But anyway, that'll be it for today's program. I hope everyone enjoyed today's program, and we'll be back. I'll be back on Monday, tomorrow, for Middleboro Matters. Bye-bye.